Hey Shay's Warriors, come on into Perky.
Hi, welcome to Perky. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Courtney.
So we're the nurses and founders here at Perky, and we're located in San Antonio, Texas. We absolutely love our jobs. We specialize in medical micropigmentation for the breast cancer community. All of our services are catered to a survivor of breast cancer.
And so medical micropigmentation, it's just a form of medical tattooing. And we tattoo things like nipples in 3D and 4D, eyebrows, pre and post chemotherapy. We can camouflage scars. We can camouflage stretch marks, little radiation markers if you've had radiation and have the blue dots. And most recently, scalp micropigmentation.
Like I said, we love what we do, and we're super excited today to show you around the space, give you an idea of what to expect, and we hope we'll see you soon here. Here's the Perky reception area where you can check in, take a selfie in front of the mural, and get comfy on the couch until we call you back. So one of the first things you'll see when you're checking in at Perky is a wall that has two portraits of our grandmothers. They both suffered with cancer. Mine was a breast cancer survivor, and they are our inspiration for why we are here. These photos were just too beautiful not to use and have front and center. And it's just always a great reminder to know why we're here and why we do what we do.
Here we have our Perky mastectomy mural, which features two women surrounded by plants native to San Antonio, including palm fronds symbolizing strength. And yes, behind them, that is a boob wave.
So one special detail that we have in the Perky waiting room by the mural is this journal. It's our We Are Perky journal, and it's from one survivor to another. And we ask our ladies to just, write words of encouragement, words of advice, any inspirational quotes in here for other ladies to read. So we want your experience at Perky to be warm and cozy. So we put a Perk Up coffee station here in the waiting room, so you can grab a warm cup of coffee and get comfortable leading up to your procedure with us.
So here at Perky, we have an insurance reimbursement wall in our reception room. And this just has all the different forms for the insurance providers to file for reimbursement for your nipple tattooing. Insurance is required by law to cover nipple tattooing as part of the breast reconstruction process. And what we have you do at Perky is just bring in your insurance card and your ID. We'll fill out all the necessary forms for you and give you the must-haves for reimbursement, like the letter of medical necessity and an itemized receipt for your procedure. And that just makes it easy peasy, makes it a simple process for you to send off to your insurance company for reimbursement.
Come on back and let's show you our Perky Polaroid wall. So here's our Perky Polaroid wall, and we have all of our ladies take Polaroids in front of our mural, and then little by little we're just building our collection here on this wall. We ask them to write a word or a phrase that conveys their journey, and it's really empowering. We're so honored to have helped all of these ladies. So now we've made it into the Perky consult room. This is where we'll chat about your medical history and your goals with your tattooing session. Some frequently asked questions or things that we review here are if we need you to stop any meds, timing of your procedure, aftercare, and things like if your scar is a good candidate for tattooing. Now we're in one of our treatment rooms where the magic happens. We picked super comfy adjustable chairs for you to make your experience that much better. We'll set the mood with your favorite essential oil and music choice. Here's some of the supplies that we utilize for your tattooing sessions. Naturally, we use a fresh needle each and every time. We can numb you with primary and secondary numbers, so don't worry about discomfort. Some ladies don't need it, but some do. Here are some of our ink lines. Specifically for the nipples, we use a line catered to nipple areola restoration. And these all lack heavy metals, and that's super important because they're not really safe for you, and also it can hinder your healing process. They could cause your tattoo to gray out over the years. Here's our fun, sexy, hot pink tattoo pen. We love it. It's so easy and straightforward to utilize. It makes our jobs easier, and I think it makes your experience better. In regards to nipple tattooing, these are the templates that we utilize to kind of ballpark the size and shape of your areola and nipple bud. So we'll draw it on you, and then you tell us yay or nay. When it comes to mapping and getting proper symmetry, we always use our caliper, and sometimes we use mapping string.
Hey Shay's Warriors, we wanted to show you a little bit of the Perky process. So we have a client who came for 4D nipple tattooing touch-up. So we can walk you through the process from start to finish. Before we show you our procedure footage, let's chat the difference between 3D and 4D nipple tattooing.
This is an example of a 3D nipple tattoo on a complete flat surface. She opted for an inverted nipple look, and this gives you the illusion of protrusion. This is an example of a 4D nipple tattoo. She had them surgically recreated with her surgeon. They do have projections, so we went ahead and tattooed detail work over the reconstructed nipples.
Before each procedure, we always set up the room with the proper supplies. So this is us setting up for a 4D nipple tattoo touch-up today.
Hey you!
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, well, thank you.
Awesome. Here's your consent forms. We'll
Okay.
just have you initial each line here,
All right.
and also on the second page, and then you'll sign a date, and I'll be your witness.
Okay.
And then if you
Sounds
want
good.
coffee.
Once you've finished all of your paperwork, we'll go ahead and bring you back to our treatment rooms, and that's where you can get changed into one of our robes and get ready for your procedure.
You all ready? Okay. Do you want any alterations in the color?
I don't think so.
I like the
think I'm
color
good.
too.
Yeah. I think it faded a little more on this side, but I think it's
Yes.
because there's a
So
scar
I'll
there.
measure to
Yeah.
make sure I make
Oh,
them
yeah.
the same size.
Yeah.
We always get before and after photos, and that helps us with our planning with your tattooing. And then these photos can just live in your medical chart, or with your permission, sometimes we use them on social media for education purposes.
With nipple tattooing, symmetry, placement, size, all of those things are super important. So we utilize tools like this stencil to help us make sure that we're giving you the appropriate size for your breast, but also a size that you're comfortable with. And we use this on both sides just to make sure that things turn out evenly with the tattooing. The touch-up is typically done about 6 weeks after your initial procedure, and it's our chance to really get everything crisped up and even, so we do always do additional measuring just to make sure everything's placed correctly.
Just so for symmetry for the eye, we
Yeah.
can trick the eye by
Okay.
maneuvering where the areola lies. So this one is like a millimeter higher, so I might move this a smidge higher. And we can always redraw. This part is not permanent.
A lot of times we will use what you see here called mapping string. This is just string that has ink on it, and it helps us line things up and make sure that we're doing things evenly. So you can see her markings here with the mapping string, just doing that final check before we get started.
Have any discomfort last time?
No, not at all.
Good, good. All right, and I'm just gonna mix my colors.
Okay.
I'll get you numbed with the pre-number and then we'll get started, okay?
All right, sounds good.
We usually apply this pre-number as long as you don't have an allergy, just to take the edge off and make sure everything's nice and comfortable for your procedure.
For this client, we are here filling in her areola and extending it to get a nice even match. At the touch-up session, we can also chat about adjusting the color. If need be, we can always go a little darker. Our goal with our technique is to give you a nice airy areola with no harsh borders. We're finishing up her areola here and about to apply some secondary number, which we apply on open skin. And this really does the job in further numbing the area and making the procedure more comfortable for ladies that do have more sensation.
One of the last parts we add is the highlight. So that's this white color that you see here. And it can look like a very bright color, but it heals really nicely and really highlights things and accents everything. So it really brings life to the detail work. For this client, she wanted to add some detail work to her areolas to make them look a little more realistic. So she wanted wrinkles and the little bumps, Montgomery glands. So that's what we're working on here, just crisping up that detail work that we had previously done so we can really enhance it at the touch-up and make sure that that has longevity to it. These are the little details that you get to pick and choose to really make the areola and nipple bud yours. And it's the part that we really have a lot of fun with. If you want to add these little pieces in there, it really, in our opinion, enhances things and just livens up that nipple. And we tend to use a darker color for the nipple bud, at least a little bit of a color with contrast, just to make sure that that pops, gives it a little more dimension than it blending perfectly with your areola. Now that we've finished, we have the client check over the results just to make sure everything looks good.
Ta-ta-da, and look at these beauts. Here's the finished result. We were able to obtain better symmetry and give her more coverage with a darker tone. Put some Aquaphor on both sides. We practice moist healing, so you will keep these tattooed areas moist for the next 7 to 10 days if you need to do longer. And then, after that 10 days or so, you'll notice some slight peeling. Just be sure not to pick at it, pull at the skin, let it just do its thing. If you feel like you need to put more Aquaphor, go for it. And then I'll put the clear Tegaderm on you today, or the clear wrap, and you'll leave it on 24, 48 hours. Okay. If you notice any reaction, remove it sooner, and then you'll switch to a non-stick gauze. Okay.
After that initial day or two of wearing the clear film, you typically switch to a non-stick gauze and wear that until fully healed, which is about 10 days or so. Now that you've gotten to see a client go through the Perky process, let's chat some frequently asked questions that we get about nipple tattoos. When can I proceed with nipple tattooing?
At Perky, we typically recommend that you undergo nipple tattooing 3 to 4 months after your last breast surgery, but we always follow your surgeon's recommendations. We wait that amount of time to make sure your scars have fully matured over, and we've allowed ample time to allow inflammation to settle. Also, if you've had implant reconstruction, this allows time for your implants to drop and stay in their final location. That way when we position the nipples, they stay there.
Is nipple tattooing safe for me?
At Perky, the nipple restoration tattoo process is very safe. We use inks that are catered to nipple tattooing that do not have any heavy metals in them. Our technique is quite gentle. When we are implanting the ink, we stay in the top layers of the skin, so in the epidermis, dermis. So if you have an underlying implant, do not worry, we're nowhere near it. It's very safe and you should get very nice, long-lasting results.
What do I need to do before I have my nipples tattooed?
At Perky, we offer complimentary virtual and in-person consultations. Either way, we will assess the breast area. If it's in person, we will get our hands on the breast and make sure that we don't notice any residual inflammation. If we do notice, then we can recommend that you start massaging. Massaging daily, twice a day, leading up to your tattoo session can really improve upon the circulation and lymphatic drainage of the breast area and optimize your pigment uptake. Also at your consultation, we'll review your medication and supplement list. If you take anything like a fish oil, a vitamin E, a baby aspirin, we will encourage you to stop it. That way we don't put you at a risk of bleeding. If you have a very straightforward medical history, we can always gather your information over the phone and then just set you up directly for a procedure.
How can I customize my nipple tattoos? So this involves picking the elements of the areola and the nipple bud, which you'll do with us. And that typically starts with size and placement. We get out our stencil and our Sharpie, and you help us pick how big you want the areola and the nipple bud. And then we confirm the placement with mapping string, and you're the ultimate say in it. You'll tell us whether you like the size and placement, and we'll tweak it until you're happy. Then we'll pick color together, so we'll get out all of our areola colors and try them on, and we together will choose what's best for your skin tone. And then you let us know how you want your nipple bud and how much detail work you want, whether it's more clean, like this one you see here, or if you want a clean bud with a little bit more enhanced wrinkles. You can see the Montgomery gland there, the little bump. Or if you want something more inverted, like this look. How do I care for my nipple tattoos after they've been newly tattooed? For step 1, we're going to clean the tattoos and apply a thin layer of Aquaphor. Step 2, we're going to apply a clear film, and you're going to leave that on for 24 to 48 hours. That just keeps the tattoo clean, protected, and moisturized. And these are technically waterproof, so you could shower with them all.
After 24 to 48 hours, you're going to remove this clear film that we placed over your 3D nipple tattoo. You can gently wipe with a water wipe, and then you're going to continue to apply Aquaphor 2 to 3 times a day for about 7 to 10 days or until the area has fully healed over. And then for a protective barrier, you'll put a non-stick gauze.
So during the healing process, you'll need to avoid a few things like submerging in water. So no baths, pools, oceans, that kind of thing. Avoid excessive sweating and avoid excessive sun exposure.
If you have an allergy to adhesives, we will skip that clear film and go straight to a non-stick gauze with Aquaphor.
And last but not least,
enjoy your perky nipples.
Why is the touch-up session recommended at Perky? We use the touch-up as the final step of the nipple tattooing, and it's to enhance your results and give you a longer lasting tattoo. And we can also correct something if we didn't get it right the first time. For example, here we're tweaking the color to make it a little bit darker for the client. We offer our touch-up 6 weeks after the final session, and it's included in our service price, and we strongly recommend it so that we can give you optimal results. How much we're doing at touch-up varies from client to client, and here's an example of one of our ladies pre-touch-up, and then it fades into her post-touch-up where things are a little darker and more crisp. And this is another example of a client pre and post touch-up where she requested that we darken the areola and give a little bit more enhancement to the detail work, so we were able to go over that again for her. And sometimes with touch-up, there's not really a whole lot that we're doing, but we're kind of going over things again. Like you see here, we just darkened the areola a bit and crisped up the detail work a bit more just to provide a longer lasting result overall. Post touch-up. What factors can affect how my tattoos heal? Any scarring to the area can make the ink take lighter or darker depending on the type of scar and the texture. The type of skin you have is also a factor. Different skin types will take ink differently. If you're on medication that thins your blood, that increases your risk of bleeding during the procedure, which can inhibit ink uptake. We do usually have you hold blood thinners for a period of time before procedure, as long as that's okay with your hematologist, and we do take that into account and we're a little more gentle in these scenarios. How you care for your tattoos after you've had them done is super important in how much ink you retain. So you always want to make sure you're following the instructions that we've provided or the instructions of wherever you've had your tattoo done. Nutrition is also very important in healing. You want to make sure you're getting enough protein in to help your body heal properly. Prior radiation to the breast can make the ink heal a little lighter on that side. And if you've had previous tattooing, that will affect what inks we're able to use. If there's like a darker color there, we may have to go a little bit darker with ours, and that may affect how our tattoo takes. This is why it's super important for us to go over your medical history with you before you have a tattoo, just to really take all these factors into account. Everybody's journey is unique, and we just want to give the best, longest lasting nipple tattoos that we can.
Now that we've showed you the nipple restoration process and answered some frequently asked questions, let's highlight some of the other services that we offer here at Perky. Another service we offer at Perky is eyebrow micropigmentation. The techniques we offer are combination and powder brow. When you come in, the first thing we'll do is map your brows out to get proper shape, position that's flattering to your face. Here we are doing a combo brow, so I'm shading in her brow here. And then we like to put natural little hair strokes at the head of the brow. Here are those hair strokes that I mentioned. And this is a before and after of a powder brow technique, very soft and a feminine look. It has shading throughout the brow and it does not have any hair strokes. Another service we offer at Perky is surgical scar camouflage. Here we are camouflaging a mediport scar, which is very common in the breast cancer community. And here is a lower abdominal deep flap scar. We utilize flesh tone pigments or inks complementary to your complexion to blend the scar into the surrounding skin. For this lady, we did 3D nipple tattooing, and now we are camouflaging her remaining scarring. Everyone has a personal relationship with their scars. Camouflage is not for everyone, but it is a great option if someone's wanting to improve upon their appearance.
Next up is radiation marker camouflage. So this is if you've had prior radiation, they tattoo those little blue dots, and they tend to look ashy or a little bit gray as they heal, or even blue in tone. And those can be neutralized with a warm pigment. We just dot it in like you see here. It's a very simple and quick procedure, and it can really help turn that blue dot into more of a freckle or a beauty mark like you see here.
At Perky, we can correct a previously done nipple tattoo, which we call a Perky Refresh. This lady had her initial tattooing done with a tattoo artist in California, and here it is redone by our very own Courtney. Her old tattoo was lacking color centrally and had a very harsh border. Also, the color selection was a bit too warm for her. Not to mention the Montgomerys were a little bit too prominent. So we had to be very mindful of the color that we chose to give her that soft and airy look to her areola, which is very blended. And we added more life to her nipple bud with some nice shading. Keep in mind, not all tattoo artists are the same. Everyone utilizes different techniques for nipple restoration. Here at Perky, our goal is to give you a natural, fresh, soft nipple areola look.
And our newest service is scalp micropigmentation. And this is a form of medical tattooing where we layer dots to the scalp, like you see here. And this can be used for bald patches or anyone with thinning hair or alopecia. Sometimes after chemotherapy or certain hormone treatments, they can cause areas of balding or thinning hair, but that can be filled in with these dots here. And it's to provide the illusion of more hair follicles there to give added density to the scalp. And this really does make the scalp look more filled in. So it's a really great option for anyone who has those kind of balding areas or patchiness. So you've seen the touch-up with the nipple tattooing, but we do also include a touch-up with all of our services. So no matter which tattooing option you're getting, we include a touch-up in the initial cost because we really believe it gives you the best result possible.
Thanks, Shay's Warriors, for having us. We love showing you around Perky and our process.
And we really hope that we were able to answer your questions. If you have any more, please let us know.
Bye.
Bye. To contact the Perky team, you can always go to our website, helloperky.com. We have a form submission there. You can email us to info@helloperky.com. You can call or text 210-712-9765. Or you can always find us on Instagram or Facebook @WeArePerky. We're very active on our social media and we add a lot of educational pieces as well as a lot of before and afters and procedure footage. So give us a follow if you have the